Anti-racism campaigners have praised AC Milan midfielder Kevin Prince Boateng after he walked off the field in protest at racist abuse during a friendly, followed by his teammates. From Thursday, January 3rd, 2012, Milan's match against fourth-tier side Pro Patria was abandoned when Boateng, in possession on the left wing in the 26th minute, suddenly picked up the ball and kicked it towards the stand behind him. The Ghana midfielder tore off his shirt and walked off the pitch, followed by the rest of the Milan side. Italian Football Association President Giancarlo Abete branded the incident unspeakable and intolerable and an offence to Italian football and announced an immediate inquiry. Piara Power, Executive Director of European Anti-Discrimination Group Fair Football Against Racism, demanded strong action from the Italian FA. He said, "We salute Kevin Prince Boateng for his actions and his teammates for their support. This is not the first time a player has walked off in Italy. If the situation continues, it may not be the last." Italy, as much as any country in Europe, has a serious problem of racism to deal with. Football infrastructure is in need of renewal and at serious odds with the changing nature of Italian society. We look forward to strong action by the FIGC Italian FA. The investigation into alleged racism at AC Milan set up by the Italian FA on January 4th. The Italian Football Association launched an immediate inquiry into alleged racism by supporters at a friendly match involving AC Milan, as we just said. But Kevin Prince Boateng insisted he will walk off the pitch again if he is racially abused and criticised FIFA for not doing more to tackle the issue. "I don't care what game it is, a friendly, Serie A, Champions League match, I'd walk off the pitch again and I think everyone would support me. I saw massive support from England and massive players like Rio Ferdinand and Patrick Vieira. I want to say thank you. I'm sad and angry that I'm the one that has to take action." Basically, after several players were racially abused, reportedly complaining to the referee 3 times about the abuse, I said to him, "If it happens again, I'm not going to play anymore." The referee said, "Don't worry," but I said, "Do worry, it's not very nice." I was angry and I was sad, but it all came together and I said I didn't want to play anymore. There were so many negative emotions that came up in me. And basically Silvio Berlusconi has claimed his players will always walk off the pitch in future to protest against racist abuse, something that could put Milan and Boateng at loggerheads with FIFA and UEFA, who have previously warned against players taking such action. FIFA President Sepp Blatter said, "Walk off, that's not the solution. I don't think you can run away because eventually you can run away if you lose a match. This is a very touchy subject, but there is zero tolerance of racism in the stadium," Blatter was reported to have said in the Abu Dhabi-based publication The National. For me, the fact of the matter is this: Sepp Blatter saying you can't run away from it. Sepp Blatter, oh my God, Sepp Blatter, once again, you prove yourself to be a flaming moron. Really? This guy is infuriating. On so many levels, Sepp Blatter is infuriating. Running away is not the answer. Kevin Prince Boateng is not running away. He is making a statement that, you know what, he's mad as hell and he's not going to take it. And so he should not take it. Blatter, seriously, Blatter, I hope you're watching this feed. I hope you're watching our show because you are a world-class moron. I can't say what I would want to say in that situation. The fact of the matter is, staying on the pitch at the end of the day. I mean, Cain, you make an interesting point. There's other ways he should have stayed on the pitch, sat down and stayed there. Referee should have done more. Well, the referee should have done more. But the referee but remember what Boateng was saying. The referee told him, "Don't worry." So at the end of the day, if the referee ain't doing nothing, if the referee's not doing nothing, then what can you do? Sitting down on the middle of the pitch ain't gonna do nothing. Walking off. People have paid to watch a match, including the people being racist. They've paid to watch the matches. It's one of them ones. You know what? If you walk off and there ain't no match happening, hopefully these numbskulls racially abusing players will learn. And apparently Sepp Blatter has said earlier today it was a strong and courageous decision. Mate, it's one of them was Blatter. I'm sorry, mate, but the time is over. The time for talk is over. You need to shut your face and do something. You are the head of the governing body of world football. We don't want you talking. We don't want you waxing lyrical. We want you to do something. Blatter, do something. Punish the people. Castigate harshly. Castigate in a draconian fashion. And castigate uniformly. Blatter, you need to step up, and instead of talking, saying this, saying that, you need to do something, and do something harsh. At the end of the day, but you know what? It's at the end of the day, the referee could call the game off. The referee could do that. It's so frustrating the fact that morons like Sepp Blatter want to come out and say, oh, it was a brave and courageous decision. Oh, walking off's not the way. Well, if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then players are gonna have to take the law into their own hands. If the powers that be ain't doing nothing about it, mate, it's all good people saying, oh yeah, that's not the answer, there's other ways. But if the powers that be ain't doing nothing, what are you gonna do?
First and foremost, I gotta say, what Boateng done was courageous. You know, he's been applauded for it by people that have been abused in the same way like himself.
Yeah, I'm glad his teammates supported him.
If he feels that's the only way he can, if he feels that's the way he needed to combat that situation, good to him, because it's worked. It's managed to put some light on the situation, especially with the Italian FA actually having to look at themselves and now, look at the situation and back their man. You get me?
Yeah.
But in terms of what Blatter's saying, and in terms of just looking at the laws of the game, I get what Blatter's saying, to be honest. Like it might sound strange, but when you separate the incident from what Blatter's actually saying, he's not just thinking about players walking off the pitch for racist incidents, you know what I mean? He's opening up Pandora's box and thinking, so what happens when the team doesn't like a referee and the referee always gives contentious decisions against them or something like that, yeah, and players decide they want to walk off the pitch? What happens when players feel that they are done by a late goal or in the first half or something like that, and they decide they don't want to come back onto the pitch? That's what Blatter's actually trying to, that's what he's actually talking about. It can stem further than just a racist issue. I can understand what you're saying, where Blatter's not really given any other options.
Yeah,
he's not actually acting on anything, and I fully understand that.
Yeah.
But for what he was saying in that situation, because he's just being kind of bleak on the situation and narrow on it, he's just talking. He actually is making sense. Because players can't just walk off the pitch. It's the referee who has to take control of the game. And unfortunately, in this case, this referee should be the referee that should be getting lambasted, not a referee that actually misses a handball or something like that. This referee, if he's been told that a player feels disgruntled by racism, the referee has every opportunity to stop the game, talk to his issues, talk to the two clubs, and, to handle the situation. Boateng shouldn't have to take it in his own hand to walk off the pitch. It should be the referee to say, look, game stop, can't handle this. So he can send in his report to FIFA and then outline to FIFA that I stopped the game for racism and not stop the game for letting Boateng walk off. That's what the report's going to say. It's going to say Boateng walked off. Not that, and the racism issue is kind of secondary in the report, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. But as you rightly said, then that's down to the referee has got to do something. As you correctly said, Sepp Blatter ain't done nothing to help. That's the thing. He's been coming out and saying, oh yeah, he shouldn't have done that, but he ain't offering no alternatives. If you're gonna come out and say, oh, this is not the answer, that's not the answer, then why don't you offer a goddamn alternative? That's my problem with what Blatter's saying. This dude coming, that's the frustrating thing. If you're going to say, don't do that, all right, fine. What should we do then? But I don't hear Blatter coming out and saying nothing. This is why, to me, Blatter's being a moron about it. He really is. I mean, you know what, yeah? Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, you were actually the one who brought this to our attention. What would you like to add something about this? And then Cain Bennett has had some interesting stuff which I've kind of come back to indirectly. Big T, have at it, man.
Well, thank you. First of all, I just think that I disagree with what people have been saying in the Skype chat. I mean, it's like in any walk of life. If you're getting abused, I mean, if I can use an example which isn't exactly the same, I mean, I think it was about a couple of years ago I got abused at work. I was called names. Okay, it's nothing completely the same as what's happened to Boateng, but at the same time, you shouldn't take that. You can't just sit in the middle of a pitch. You can't just stay there and play football, because it will make you lose your mind and it will make you lose focus. And as a man, as a human being, you can't take that. And he did the right thing walking off the pitch. And at the end of the day, I don't see how I don't think the majority of the team should get punished. I think you could see who was doing the abuse. It was horrible. It was just nasty to hear. And the fact that they were doing it, and to be honest, I wish he would have kicked that ball harder into those people, if you can use that word. I mean, Mike Harniman said it in the chat. I mean, they are animals. That's the politest word you could say. But I don't think that the majority of the fans should be punished, as I think Cain said, rightly so. That the team, how do I say this? I think it should be like points deductions. Like if it was a team like, say, Juventus or someone at the top of the league, they should be the ones who get punished. And if they were to lose points, can you imagine that if they lost like 5 or 7 or 11 points, etc., that could make a real difference in the title race for Serie A, etc. So they need to wise up, because there's trophies at stake. I mean, people are forgetting about the fact that there's, money and trophies and livelihoods at stake. And, it's just unbelievable that people nowadays can still think that it's acceptable to just do these monkey chants. And and on Twitter as well. It's just disgusting, really. But that's all I've got to say about that.
No, I agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, points deductions need to be coming in, because obviously the monetary fines are not doing anything. I mean, Eamon Salim has said it's not even a war on racism on football. Wars end, and there's never going to be an end to morons in the football stand. And if you let players walk off when being abused, what's happening if one team is losing and the fans are racist towards the other team? If the other team, the ones being abused, are winning and they walk off, they forfeit and lose the match. That's a good question. The powers that be need to step up and answer these questions. Cain Bennett, did you want to jump in on this as well? And then we're going to shift to Mike Harniman as well.
I don't feel that points deductions are the right way to go. I think you've got to do matches behind closed doors and things like that, because these racists and these idiots that are going to games, they really don't care about the football team. They're going to purely to abuse whatever player they're trying to abuse, whether that be Boateng or whoever. And it's got to be, they've got to just stop fans coming and things like that then. Or they've got to, arrest them, they've got to identify them. It's up to the stewards and things like that. And they've got to put in a bigger effort to stop them.
I mean, Mike Harniman, you've just said something quite interesting in the chat. I mean, Eamon said running away from problems never solves it. And like I said earlier, Mike's just put something similar in the chat. He's not running away, though. He's taking a stand against the idiots who were there just to get a kick out of it. And that's a true point. Well, at the end of the day, if the powers that be are not going to do it, then he's got to do it. He's got to take it into his own hands.
Exactly, because no one else is doing anything about it. So what do you expect Boateng to do? What can he do? He's not actually. You're saying that he can ignore it. How can he ignore it when it's going to be playing on his mind for the rest of the game?
Mate, he was trying to ignore it. I mean, he told the ref like a good 3. He even said he told the ref at least 3 times that it was happening, and the ref just said, "Don't worry." When you got the ref who is supposed to be the power in a match just batting it off saying, "Oh, don't worry," then what are you going to do? I mean, no one should have to, like we've said on shows before, no one should have to put up with racist abuse at work. No one should have to put up with it in leisure. No one should have to put up with racist abuse, period. So ignoring it, it's all good ignoring it. But at the end of the day, if the powers that be, if you ignore it and the powers that be do nothing about it, then you're never going to stop it. Jamie Bailey, did you want to drop in something as well?
In all fairness, with Boateng, with everything, I want to remind a certain Liverpool fan about what happened with Carragher and the Arsenal fans at Highbury.
When someone threw a coin at him and he threw it back in. Yeah, and he got in trouble for it, and the fan, I don't think ever did.
No, I remember. No, that's what I'm saying. those type of things seem to come back on certain players. So if you look at the way that things have gone, if you react to a fan now, all of a sudden you get the blame. But if a fan comes onto the pitch, invades the pitch like the Man City fan did, he only gets a 3-year ban. So it all comes down to what certain people say. It doesn't actually come down to what actually happens.
Well, it's he said, she said, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the bit that really annoys me, because yes, Boateng walked off the pitch, but who's actually going to get in trouble? It's not going to be the fans. It's going to be him for walking off, and that's where Blatter's actually getting it wrong.
Yeah, there's a few things on our social mediums.
Oh yeah, go on, let's roll.
So I just want to send a big shout out to a couple of new followers. Jack Eaton, on a whole Blatter situation, he said Blatter continuing to condemn himself and FIFA with the latest outbursts, sheer incidents from a man of football. There's a lack of understanding from referees what to do if there is racism on the pitch. From this, it's just encouraging the despicable people to continue to do this, and referees do nothing to help the situation as it has.
That's a good
one thing I
shout,
say is that across the continent, Blatter turns a blind eye. If this happened in England, Blatter would throw the book at us. It's double standards and is completely disrespectful from a man who is out of touch with the game.
Blatter's out of touch with reality, to be perfectly frank. He really is. The guy's out of touch with not even just the game; it's just reality that he's out of touch with. And Jack Deaton, thank you for those comments, by the way. And it's one of them was at the end of the day, yeah, the referees are not doing anything to help either. But if the but at the end of the day, if the powers that be, it's a trickle down effect. If the powers that be are not doing anything to help, then the referees who take their direction from the powers that be ain't gonna know what to do either. And we've already said that the standard of refereeing needs to improve as it is. So, but it's quite an interesting one because we've got our grassroots segment up next. I mean, Gman, have you encountered anything in your refs? Did you encounter anything in your refs course thus far in terms of legislation and rules against racism and what kind of protocols there are if a player is racially abused? What do you do?
At grassroots level, it's a lot different, as you can understand the spectrum of things. Great stadiums, and the control factor. You might as well say got more control over like being able to stop the match. Because from my understanding, if there was racism, first and foremost, the job of the referee, the first job of the referee is always to look after the players and look after the people that are watching the game. It's all about health and safety. Now, when it comes to looking after the players, I'm pretty sure from common sense, racism falls into that bracket. If you know your players on the pitch, they're going to face racism, then in order to combat it, you as a referee, you have to stand up. You have to stand up, and you have control of the game to be able to stop the match. As I said earlier, talk to both managers, ask them if they can, if this can be prevented, if this can be stopped in any way. Yeah, and on grassroots, it's asking if certain teams, if they can get a handle of their fans and vice versa. Yeah. Well, in the Premiership, I guess you can't really, in a Premiership or in, you can't really control that. It's in stadiums. In terms of a referee, you can abandon a match. There's nothing wrong with saying you're abandoning a match because of the intolerance of fans, and it was affecting the way the players were, acting on the pitch. It's in your duty. If for instance, if Kevin Prince Boateng came up to me and said, "Look, racism happening to me," I would. Well, in this day and age, I feel obliged to go to his manager, have a word, go to the other manager, have a word, and see what can be done. Have a word with fourth official, you know. But I understand that level as well. They're also under pressure because these matches could be televised. These matches, you know, there's big money going into these matches, and as Cain Bennett, as you know, Jack Deaton has said, you know, referees ain't really helped in this situation to know what to do and how to handle it, because Sepp Blatter and his cronies, they're not really doing anything.
Right, exactly. I mean, like, an IBIS teammate of mine, Kendall Campbell, has said, I respect what he did and I hope other players do, but most importantly, do it when a match that really matters. Like in Premiership or a Serie A game, I think that will make a really big statement. So we'll see if it happens, but the powers that be will probably just castigate the victims. And that's the scary thing.
That's gonna... Hey, there's more to lose. There's more to lose. There's more for them to lose, yeah, in a player handling that situation in that way on a bigger scale. Because at the end of the day, one, the cameras don't lie, but two, the people that have the cameras in place, yeah, they're paying big money to get these matches and they want to see them played.
Yeah, but come on, man. I mean, see, that's the thing about football. That this kind of thing came up over the weekend in terms of honor in football. It's not there. Honor in football is not there. It's all about the mighty buck. It's called greed. That's what it is all about. And it's a disgrace that it is about that. It is such a disgrace that it is about that. It's more about money than protecting people from being abused. Just like the this is kind of reminiscent of the Jimmy Savile thing. It's more about who someone is rather than them going around and molesting and abusing people. It's one of them ones. Just because he's got a load of money, yeah, we can let it slip under the carpet. No, it shouldn't be like that.
Big shout out to Lindenberg 2000. He said on the situation. Of course, Boateng was right to walk off the pitch. He shouldn't have to put up with thousands of racist chants. Yep. I bet Sepp Blatter was in the crowd. He's also gone on to say what needs to happen is FIFA need a clean house, get more progressive in there, ban race for life, dock the club's points and relegation, etc.
The whole thing's a joke, and the powers that be need to step up.